most sites incorporate the Garmin technology is you import every single route that you have as a new route every time. So what that would mean is instead of looking around your house and seeing just one route that you run every week, you would see one route, one run for every time you've ever run it. So you'd end up with a lot of clutter and mess on the site. So that's not the way that I wanted to build this. So the way that we're going to be implementing it is that as you import the route, it will ask you, is this particular route? Because we know the start, finish, and the distance to the route, we can show you similar routes in the neighborhood. So you can say, oh, actually, it's that particular route. And the benefit there is that we avoid some of the problems. Sometimes Garmin, the GPS devices, don't have very good satellite accuracy. And it means that you'll end up with large zigzags across the screen that represent a straight line that you ran in. Most people don't run zigzags unless you're doing a special kind of workout. So the way that we decided to go was we'll use WalkJogRun as the trusted authority of the actual route you were trying to do, and then we'll attach your track so you'll be able to see it. But we'll mostly use the data from it. You'll always be able to see the route you took separately, but it won't be added as a new route to the site. It will only be added the very first time you create it. And even once you add it to the site, you'll still be able to edit the route to make sure that you straighten out some of those kinks that occur from a bad GPS signal. So you can fix the route after the fact if you realize that it's not quite accurate.
Okay. Big plans, a lot of work ahead of you.
Yeah.
Can you share with us some insights in Can you share with us some insights on what the first steps that an entrepreneur should take in order to create his first startup, his first web app?
For his first web app, it depends on how technical the entrepreneur is. If the entrepreneur is capable of designing and building it themselves, I would say my first step is to build it. Build something that you would use. If it's something that you find useful, then other people would. That's been our driving theory for WalkJogRun, and it's meant that we've always stayed on a very true path for the rest of the world, and that's why it was so appealing to everybody. Is we add things that we think other runners will find useful, and I think that if you try to, it's very tempting to have a concept, to try to invest a lot of money and and actually attract investors to try and build a business from scratch. But the problem is that when you have investors, you don't really have as much control over your business anymore. So what was your dream and what was useful to you is now controlled by somebody who's very concerned about the bottom line and you making money. And so you end up with a watered down version of your dream. And I would say, start off with your own dream and make sure that you can do it in your own spare time if you can, because if you try to do it full time and you don't have a solid concept, then your business is never going to flourish as much as you think it will. Certainly, don't get me wrong, having venture capital is a useful thing. I mean, one of our biggest competitors, Map My Run, they obtain venture capital funding, and they've been able to work on this full time for the last 3 years, whereas we're just reaching the point now where we're able to dedicate some serious business time during the day towards the site, and we have an employee working for us. So it's taken a while to get there, but at least we know we got there under our own steam. We're self-financed, so there's no investment partner that's saying we need to have interstitial ads that get in the way of your users trying to do things. Everything we do is because the work that we've done is funded by the small ads that we do have on the site, which aren't particularly intrusive and can be eliminated for $1, or the iPhone app. So it's we make all our money from those two things, and we've started selling some shirts, but those are really not really a profit item because we sell them so cheaply. We have our tech shirts for $10 and $15 for a long sleeved shirt. It's not going to make us rich, and it was never the idea. It was more so to get our members wearing shirts branded with our logos, and just to get the word out about WalkJogRun so everybody else would want one.
Yeah, like an advertisement tool.
Exactly.
Which web apps do you yourself use?
I would say one of my favorite web apps that I use is Google Reader. I love the Google Reader product. I have an iPhone, an iPad, and I still use Google Reader for all my news feeds. I just feel like the interface really works very well. I like the features that they provide. The ability to sort your news items by the most recent items, or they have a magic description where it basic. I think what I believe that it's doing behind the scenes is it's looking at the items that you've read and shown an interest in and shared in the past, and then proposes that out of the items that you're looking at, these are the ones you'll find the most interesting from today's items. So I love that app. Let's see what else I use. I use Google Docs quite a bit for sharing. We use the Google Apps for Google Email for your domain. So we have all the apps that go with that as well. It makes it easy to manage a business. The chat functionality built into it. The use of spreadsheets for tracking timesheets and that kind of thing. There's another set of apps that I use. There's a company here in Chicago called 37 Signals, who
created Basecamp.
Yeah, I actually did some work for them a couple of years ago. So I got to meet Jason Fried and DHH and work at their office with the two of them at a table. It was interesting. They were the most challenging client in terms of how fast and quick they were to pick up on what we were talking about. But when it comes to their apps, we use Basecamp quite a bit for project management, as a project management tool and tracking the time that we put into the projects. Also use Highrise HQ as well, which is their CRM for being able to track contact that we've had with charities. So that's useful. And then the other one is that I mentioned earlier, help.walkjogrun.net links to a product called Assistly, which is it's a customer service portal that you can plug into your own site. So we took that and customized it, and it allows us to offer a knowledge base. So instead of us answering every single question, it puts people in front of the answers that they're searching for on the site. So that's a great product. It also includes, it also tracks a lot of the history with the customers. So when somebody complains that they're having trouble with the login screen in Internet Explorer 9, we can say, it's Internet Explorer 9. What do you expect? And then we can actually try to help them with their problem. So, but at least we have a history there, so we can see it through to resolution and make sure everybody's happy. So those would be my best.
There are a handful. There are a few. Now, considering that we've been bombarding you with questions, any questions you would like to ask AppAppeal or the AppAppeal team?
I had a good long think about this, and I honestly, there's only one that it comes to mind is like, how did you find WalkJogRun? What is your approach for finding the apps that you give these awards to? Because I have to say, your email came out of the blue, and I was delighted but a little surprised. I wanted to know how you found us.
Well, first off, we reviewed you. In general, we just hunt for apps. One of the ways we hunt for apps is just look through venture capital firms and see what they advertise or what they say they're going to invest in, things they show interest in. We also look for startups and incubators. We like to surf and search on incubator sites for companies that just start up and try to get the word to find the latest news on the latest things that are developed anywhere. As you may know, probably most of the action takes place in the Western Coast in America, so our eyes always fixed on that, but we don't stop only there, we look everywhere. And that's how we encountered WalkJogRun, and we saw your app and we thought it was like brilliant, really easy to use, and the fact that you integrate with Google Maps also is a big plus. Other than that, any other questions if you have?
I don't think I have any. That's I think that was the key one. Is it's always nice to know how somebody found out about you, and I don't think I have any other questions.
Well, then, thank you very much for agreeing to do this interview. I think WalkJogRun is on a really, really good track, and we're gonna hear more about you. We wish you to, I don't know, help as many charities as you want and get as many visitors as you have targeted, and hope to hear from you soon.
Okay,
Till then, all the best.
Thanks, Theodore.
Have a nice night.
You
Bye.
too. Bye-bye.